Funny how the cookie crumbles, right? I wasn't meant to be here. Not a chance. This platform is meant for the extraordinary. And I am extraordinarily average, at best. At 18, I cleared what is the most difficult engineering entrance exam in the country. I got a college of my choice because growing up in the 90s, if you were good at physics and you did not hate your parents, that was your only option. So I did that. I got a college. I knew exactly what was expected of me, and I did what the average do. I quit. I ended up joining NIFT. And NIF, for those, the uninitiated in the room, is the premier design institute of this country. Exactly the college where you would have people talk in Pantone. I was the oddball that had no idea that taupe was a color. I hadn't a clue what selvage meant, but I figured myself there. End of 3 years, I come out on the other side with 2 gold medals, unprecedented, 2 job offers, and then the average decision making kicks in. I take up a job that makes me move cities and does not require me to design. And you may be wondering what's wrong with this guy. Trust me, I wasn't confused. I was just curious. I didn't go to an IM. I didn't found a billion-dollar business. I didn't even work for the Big Four. And yet today, I lead a $500 million technology business as its CEO. In the last 2 decades, I have managed to turn around 4 businesses, win 21 awards, and recently been declared COO of the Year. Now, one of 2 things could be possible, right? 1, I got extremely lucky. And 2, maybe being average is not a bug, it's a feature. And let me tell you that being average is something that does not come from you looking at it as a shortcoming. The world has sold us the myth that there will be a genius who will end up building a billion-dollar business out of his garage, drop out of Harvard, change the world. That's not my story. And trust me, that's not the story for most people that I know. The problem is, the world will keep worshipping rockets. But it's the average who take one step at a time that change the world. And if I told you that the secret to success is not genius, it is being average every day of your life. Because it's the step ladders that take you to destinations, not rockets. Let me give you a fun story here. John Wooden was one of the most celebrated basketball coaches ever. And he would start his season not by telling his team to take jump shots, not by training them for dribbling exercises, but to wear socks. And you would wonder what is with this guy. Because if you don't wear your socks right, you will get blisters. If you get blisters, you can't play. And for a team that can't play, they definitely can't win. You see, basics, small things done right till they become your edge. My father would iron his shirt every night before work, every single night. And I would wonder, Baba, why do you have to do it every night? Why can you not do it in the morning? And he sat me down one day and he explained it. Son, chaos is likely to hit you regardless. Let's start the days without a few wrinkles. And that is the power of being average. To be able to excel at things that the world will see as mundane, normal, and boring. Because like I said, the story, the myth that has been sold to us is not the average story. My story was different. I had a job, like most of you ever will. And then another job. And then a string of invisible days till all that added up. It compounded. And it became my edge. It became something really special. And that's what happens. That's what happens if you keep compounding that effort day in and day out. Let me take you to days of my early career. And back in the day, I used to work in retail. And when you work in retail, you're supposed to do everything. Billing, stock takes, hunt the occasional cockroach around the shop floor. I did all of that. And I was at that shop floor, and I saw something very, very mundane. There was a chair in the trial room where one leg was shorter than the other three. So it was a bit wobbly. And every now and then, people would go into the trial room, and you'd hear them shout, "Hey, this chair's broken!" And invariably, somebody would revert. Yes, yes, sure, we'll just get to it. Except, nobody ever did. So this is the point where I should heroically tell you that I fixed that chair. Only worse, I sat on it. Actually, literally, I sat on it. And when I sat on it, I gave myself enough reasons to begin to observe what was happening in trial rooms, what was going wrong that one was not able to observe. Women who were struggling to zip up their dresses because the mirror was wrongly placed. Children who were bored out of their wits. Gentlemen who did not ask for a size up because 2XL was a little too tight for him. And nobody had even bothered looking at this stuff. I did, and I fixed it. I fixed it because I sat on that chair. I sat on that chair longer than anybody ever did. And that is what will happen with you. That is what happens with the best leaders. The best leaders are not making PPT presentations. The best leaders are not giving motivational speeches. They are fixing what needs to be fixed. And you are only able to fix all of that if you give yourself the opportunity to sit on that chair long enough, to keep doing the mundane. Because in reality, the average are not chasing unicorns. They are fixing those broken chairs. It took me 3 more months to fix that chair, but that chair had fixed me. They are the unsung heroes. I remember people used to tell me, "Hey, Utsav, you're so average." Yes, of course. And I would thank them. Because nobody is guarding the gates against average. That's how I made my career. Because you know what? The average who are not chasing unicorns, they are building war horses, like Trojans. And you get through. You get through the doors, you get to places that otherwise you will not be able to get to. And then it is for you to do the boring. Because average is not mediocrity. It's micro-excellence. It is doing these small things right again and again and again till they become an edge and an advantage. Look at it as brushing your teeth. Try not doing it for a few days and then see what happens. You have to do it every single day. So spare a thought. Spare a thought for the people who feed paper in the printers. Spare a thought for the candle that lights up the room, whilst we all keep looking for fireworks. And that's the advantage of being average. Because if you've ever been told that you're average, pat your backs, guys. Because you're standing on the brink of brilliance. You just don't know it yet. Thank you.